Hello, everybody. It's been quite a while, actually. I'm going to be embarking on a series of videos. It's going to be quite an extensive series. And that's because I'm going to play pretty much every single Call of Duty game that there is. Starting with Modern Warfare, moving through the rest of the Modern Warfare series, the Black Ops games, of course, World at War before them. I'm going to go through World War II and Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare. I think that is there any others on PC at least? Yeah, I own them all on Steam. Either way, I'm a huge fan of the Call of Duty single players. I think that they are some of the best kind of Hollywood gaming experiences that you can find anywhere, really. They have pretty much consistently outdone the Battlefield campaigns. And in a lot of cases, especially in some of the later games where they're trying to be less topical, the Modern Warfare games tend to be fairly topical, dealing mostly with wars in Middle Eastern countries and World War III and stuff like that. But some of the Black Ops games and some of the like Infinite Warfare in particular, World War II to a degree, all have fairly interesting messages to give. At least I think. And while I don't plan on really going into an in-depth discussion of everything, and I hope to keep this introduction really quick, I do think that there's a lot of worth to the Call of Duty single players. Of course, just buying Call of Duty for the single player is kind of a stupid thing to do. Of course, it's why I did it. I don't play any of the multiplayer. I'm not very good at it. I'm just not good at the kind of fast-paced shooter environment that Call of Duty is. And that's fine. It's just not a game for me. But at the same time, I've always enjoyed a good Call of Duty single player, and I look forward to hopefully playing another one at some point. But with the current multiplayer-focused environment, I'm not sure we're going to see one of those for a while. I guess we'll see what happens to Black Ops 4. So I'm not going to be playing the games in order of release. That's kind of an important thing to mention. Oh, Ghosts is also in here somewhere. But I'm probably going to I'm going to play them essentially in order of each kind of mini-series within Call of Duty, with the other games thrown in here and there. It's generally going to be in release order, but not quite. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to play it I don't actually have the list in front of me, but it's probably going to be Modern Warfare, the Modern Warfare as a series, so 1, 2, and 3 of that. Probably one of the other middle games, probably Advanced Warfare. And then I'm going to do the Black Ops series, including World at War, because there is a character, if you're not familiar with it, I won't spoil it yet, but there's a character in World at War that carries over into Black Ops, so I'll play those 4 games. And then probably wrap up the rest of the games there, starting with Ghosts and moving through to Infinite Warfare and World War II. I will probably be doing Infinite Warfare last because it was one of my favorite games in the series, while World War II is decent but not my favorite. So, again, not quite release order, but somewhat close and generally kind of interesting. Just trying to keep things interesting, essentially. But I also want there to be, like, because the Black Ops games, to a lesser degree, and the Modern Warfare games, to quite an extent, all have a fairly cohesive story, at least a decent narrative. Although Black Ops 1 and 2 are more connected than Black Ops 2 and 3 are. That said, though, Black Ops 3 is, up until Infinite Warfare came out, Black Ops 3 was my favorite Call of Duty single player. Simply because I know it's not that in-depth, but it has a degree of mindfuckery to it that I found quite fascinating. I'm going to also be skipping some missions. For example, I'm not going to be doing FNG because it's the training mission. If I have the option to do it, I'm going to be skipping the tutorial missions and perhaps a few other things. I'm probably also going to skip the coup. To give you an example, FNG basically is you do a training mission based on the mission you're going to have. And then the coup, you basically are the former dictator of some Middle Eastern country where you get stuffed in the back of a car, driven through the streets of the city, and then at the very end of it, you get executed by Desert Eagle. If you haven't seen that scene before, it's not that hard to find, but it's just going to pad the runtime. And I have a lot of games to get through, and I'm going to be skipping some content here and there. Not trying to, like, you know, detract from the entire series, but it's just not that interesting for everyone involved. So I'm probably going to do a couple of missions per episode. It's going to come down to how long an episode is. Again, this is a very, very long-winded introduction to what's going on in the series to give you guys an idea of what's going on. I will probably do this at the beginning of each new game, just to kind of give people the highlights, at least, you know, be like, hey, by the way, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it should make sense. But as you can see here, there's quite a few different missions, a lot of stuff. If you haven't seen it, there's quite a bit to it. So I'm going to play Crew Expendable, and probably go... Oh, no. Probably play Blackout, and I might play Charlie Don't Surf as well, but that one kind of depends. We'll see how long it takes me to get through the first two. Crew Expendable is not very long, so... I will also, just to preface this right here, I'm only going to be playing on the Recruit difficulty, because, I mean, honestly, I play these games for fun, I don't play them for the skill, and I've already got a dozen games to play through, close to a dozen games to play through. And if I'm constantly dying and having to restart from checkpoints, is just not going to go well. No one's going to have a fun time watching me replay the same 3 sections of a level 1,000,001 times. It's not what you're here for, it's not what I'm here for. So I'm playing on Recruit, going to be playing, I'm not looking for secrets or Easter eggs or intel or anything. I'm just playing through it to give you a good idea of the story of games that I really, really enjoy, and I hope that I can kind of show the rest of you that enjoyment in a way that, you know, works for everybody. So, I guess without further ado, we're going to start Crew Expendable, and according to our Russian informant, an Estonian freighter is transporting dangerous material through the Bering Strait. Infiltrate the cargo ship and secure the package by any means necessary.
Bravo team, the intel on this op comes from our informant in Russia. The package is aboard a medium freighter, Estonian registration number 52775. There is a small crew and a security detail on board. Rules of engagement, sir. Crew expendable.
It's also worth noting I have certain settings set up in my Call of Duty games. So, for example, it doesn't cache shaders during the loading screens. So there will be sections like this where the cutscene will finish and it still won't be done loading because my computer dies when it tries to cache shaders and load the cutscene. So,
we have visual on the target. ETA 60 seconds. Copy 2-4.
I'm actually just going to boost the audio a little bit because that sounds quite quiet. Put that there. And everything seems to be good. That feels better.
30 seconds, going dark.
Oh, sorry. I should also mention, I'm starting with the remastered version of Modern Warfare because it's simply just the best version of the game that there is. I own and could obviously play through the original version, but there's not really a reason to unless I was going to just do a comparison between the two games, and that's not why I'm here. I'm just here to show you the campaign. So, if you haven't played the original Call of Duty campaign, this is pretty much the same thing, just with updated visuals, and a few minor tweaks here and there, especially to some certain missions, again, which involve spoilers that I'm not going to give.
Radio check. Go to secure channel.
Lock and load.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Light's still red. Still red. Why, guys, we didn't actually get a green light.
Weapons free.
Bridge secure.
Hold your fire. Gas, stay in the berg till we secure the deck. Over. Roger that.
I always loved how good this mission looked in the remake.
Squad on me. Stairs clear. Last call. Hallway clear.
Just want to double check because the melee attack tends to switch around a little bit depending on what you're doing. So hello, wakey wakey, or the opposite of that rather.
Forward deck is clear. Green light on Alpha. Go. Ready, sir. Man out.
Ah, shit, I forgot to turn off my Discord notifications. I'm sorry about that, I will fix that for the next episode.
Weapons free. Roger that. Target neutralized. Tango down. We've got company. Hammer 2-4, we've got tangos on the second floor. Copy. Engaging. Bravo 6, Hammer's at bingo fuel. We're bugging out. Big Bird will be on station for evac in 10. Copy, Hammer. All cross. Griffin, cover our 6. The rest of you, on me. Roger that.
Alright, come on, steal that line from Aliens.
I like to keep this for close encounters.
Yeah.
Too right, mate. On my mark. Go. Check those corners. Check those corners. Clear right. Clear left. Hallway, clear. Move up. Stairs, clear. Movement right.
I'd love to know how that SAS guy spotted that.
Tango down. Hallway, clear. Check those corners. Clear left. Ready, sir. Move up.
I do love me a good AK.
Stand by. On my go. Standing by. Flashbang out. Go. Catwalk clear. Got you covered. Move up. Squad on me. Move up. Back up.
I think I had a Desert Eagle, it didn't hit me
Ready,
once.
sir. Go. Clear left. Move. Movement right. Move up. Forward area clear. Move. Clear right.
I love the slight distortion of the visor. I'm not sure I've ever noticed it before on this level.
One ready. Two ready. On my mark. Go.
I'm hearing the clicky clicky.
You might want to take a look at this.
Ooh. It's a box of fidget spinners.
Faceplate, this is
I'm
Bravo
sorry, that
6.
was a terrible joke.
We've found it. Ready to secure package for transport.
No time, Bravo 6. 2 bogies headed your way fast. Grab what you can and get the hell out of there. Fast movers. Probably mixed. We better go.
So, grab the manifest in the container.
Just waiting for the. There we go.
Alright, everyone topside.
Leg it!
Warcroft, Griffin, what's your status?
Already in the helicopter, sir. Enemy air.
This is way better in this version of the game.
Bravo 6, what's your status?
What the hell happened?
Again, I do apologize for the Discord bloops.
Now!
Come in, damn it.
Big this is Bravo 6. We're on our way out. On your feet, soldier. We are leaving.
The number of times I've quoted that to friends is just
Come on, let's go.
ridiculous. I love that the faceplate is slightly cracked.
Go, go. Keep moving. He's breaking away.
Come on!
Watch the pipe. Johnson, Bravo 6. Where the hell are you?
Stand by! We're almost there!
Which way? Which way to the helicopter?
To the right! To the right!
And the song is a completely different direction.
We're running out of time. Come on, let's go.
Keep moving!
Where the hell is it? Jump for it!
Gotcha! We're all aboard! Go!
Roger that. We're out of here. Faceplate, this is Big Bird. Package secured. Returning to base. Out.
Alright, so that's the first proper mission of that game. And I've gone too far to let it skip. Or to attempt to skip, so... It should be a... Oh, the briefing still helps. Or I don't think they do a briefing for this one. It's a much faster level load, at least. So basically, what happens is you basically get your character is the president, you get shot, and then a dictator takes over, and basically it's a kind of thinly veiled excuse to pretend to be Iraq. So then you just get stuffed in a car and then shot in the face. So we'll actually get the subsequent briefing, so...
Captain Price, Al-Assad just executed President Al-Falani on national television.
The Americans have plans for Al-Assad, and it's too late to do anything for Al-Falani. But in less than 3 hours, codename Nikolai will be executed.
Nikolai, sir.
Nikolai is our informant in the ultra-nationalist camp. He supplied the intel on the cargo ship operation. Nikolai's in hell right now. We're gonna walk him out. We take care of our friends. Let's move.
Does amuse me because Modern Warfare is one of the first games to really do the Russia but not actually Russia sort of deal for their bad guys. Because it's supposed to be the ultranationalists are supposed to be like this super hardline group of Russians as opposed to just the traditional Russian government. So, I have always found that kind of an interesting idea. But I think Modern Warfare was one of, at least in terms of video games, it was one of the first to really go that direction with it. But anyways, more sneaking around in Eastern Europe.
The Loyalists are expecting us half a click to the north. Without
Night vision.
Loyalists, I don't think
And the most iconic night vision sound ever.
Well, they won't shoot us on sight, but that's what we're after. Yeah, well, that's good enough, mate.
Can I shoot him, boss? Can I shoot him? I want to shoot him. He's smoking.
Free.
And that's what you get for doing things that are bad for your health.
Good work. There should be a few more guard posts up ahead. Camera off. Man will be ready to disappear to the northwest.
Personally, on national television, accusing all Fulani of placing foreign interests.
I may have now become a bit lost. There we go. But yeah, the remastered versions of these games are just so much better than the originals. So personally, I'm really hoping for like a remastered World at War. I'd love to play it, but just it doesn't. It looks the worst of all the Call of Duties we're going to be playing here, at least in terms of how I feel about them.
Plant some kind
So.
in front of the door and get their attention.
Why'd you come out the back way?
Target neutralized.
Come on. There we go.
That's a kill.
I should have just shot him. It would have been about 1,000,000 times easier.
Gad, you smell that? Yeah, camera off. Welcome to the new Russia, Captain Franz.
What's the target, Kamarov? We've got an informant to recover.
The M21's on the other side of the hill. The rockets have killed 3.
I feel like this is probably still really quiet, so I'm just gonna boost this up to about 50%.
The hundreds of civilians in the valley below.
Not so fast. Remember Beirut? You're with us.
I guess I owe you one.
Bloody right you do.
Oh! That's cool, it gives off sparks. Okay, it's 5 to give me the grenade launcher. Okay.
This way. There's a good spot. A sniper can cover my man.
Ooh, sniper! Sounds like a job for me.
Sniper team in position. Gaz, cover the left flank.
Roger, covering left flank.
All units, commence the attack. Enemy infantry to the northwest.
And that was always a very visceral way to
Take
tell
out
you
machine
that
gunners in the window so Kamarov's men can storm the building.
that you were able to just shoot somebody through walls like that. Like, I think the game explains it to you, but people have to remember that this was
You didn't say there'd be helicopters, Kamarov.
this was one of the first games that really did bullet penetration, at least in, outside of like simulator games and stuff similar to that.
Make it quick, Kamarov. I want that informant.
Got nothing to worry about. We'll take out BM-21s and carve a path straight to your informant, Captain Price. Константис. Сколько времени тебе нужно? Ладно, я буду проживать.
We should just be out, sir. Not yet.
I don't think this burning house was in the original at all. Also, that was a disconcertingly close shot.
So we've got company. Helicopter troops closing in
Doop.
fast.
And doop. And doop. And doop. Alright, that's not bad. It doesn't have a sight on it. That guy's got an RPG.
Captain Price! My men have run into heavy resistance! Help me support them from the cliffs!
What about our informant? Running out of time.
Help us! The further my men can get into this village, the closer we will be to securing your informant.
A little further up. Let's try there. Well, I tried.
Target's northeast.
Double kill.
Good. Now we are making progress. Follow me to the power station.
Oh, I was supposed to be further down, wasn't I?
Look, the final assault has already begun. With a little bit more of your sniper support, we are sure to be victorious.
Enough sniping. Where is the informant?
Что ты делаешь? Что с ума сошел?
Where
Что себе
is he?
позволяешь? The house! The house of the northeast end of the village!
Well, that wasn't so hard, was it? Now go and sit in the corner.
So, guys, we've got to reach that house before anything happens to the informant. Let's go.
Not going to be doing much more sniping this level, so G3 it is, because the G3 is my favorite gun in this game. It's a 7.62, it's got the little slapper thing, you know, the HK thing. It's got such a funny sound to it, too, in this game.
Guys, go around to the back and cover power, so get ready.
Too far around?
Guys, do it.
No. Right.
Alright, I've cut the power. Go.
So many bloopy things.
Victor! Electricity!
These night vision goggles make it too easy.
It's him.
Nikolai, are you alright? Can you walk?
Yes, I can still fight. Thank you for getting me out of here.
Big Bird, this is Bravo 6. We have the package. Meet us at LZ1. Over. Bravo 6, this is Big Bird. We're on our way. Out.
Let's go.
I also always loved that the Call of Duty games in the single player. I mean, I know that they're very America-focused, but there was always a multinational element to it. I mean, you were generally playing as Americans or the British, but, you know, like, this is... I mean, it says Royal Air Force on the side, it's clearly an American pilot. Can I get in?
The Americans already attacked Al-Assad!
No, their invasion begins in a few hours. Why?
The Americans are making mistakes. They will never take Al-Assad alive!
Okay, so I think I'm going to end the episode here. I'm just pausing so that it doesn't automatically continue on the loading screen. The only thing we get is the briefing for the next mission. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this beginning to the series. I know that these games are always fun for me. The beginnings are always a little slow, at least with, you know, Modern Warfare. It's an older, it really is a much older game for a much older time. So I am looking forward to continue to play the rest of these. I will try to do at least an episode every couple of days. I can't guarantee I will stick to that, but I'm going to try and get at least one out a week. But, you know, if I try and force myself into a specific schedule for this kind of thing, it will fail, as pretty much every other series on here has. I know that I actually already have played the first mission or a couple of missions of Infinite Warfare before, at least on stream or something like that, never finished it. So it will be good if I finally finish that in, you know, a month or two when I finally get around to it. But I'm really looking forward to it because I've never actually played all the games back to back to back to back, as I'm planning on doing here. So I do hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, cries of outrage in the about the video, you know, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy all the episodes to come. Thanks for joining.